everyone, it's Chris, aka Biggest Rebel, back at it again. Today we're going to be doing another Draw This in Your Style from Selly, aka Pianta, on Twitter. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. I'll have them and the piece linked down below so you can take a look at it. Their art is just really gorgeous. They do a lot of beautiful pieces, especially surrounding women of color, particularly black women and black women, which is great because there's not enough art like that. So they're one of my favorite artists. I have commissioned them in the past. They did draw Ami and Hoshi, and it was beautiful. It's actually my home screen on my phone. So I already went ahead and sketched out the piece just because there was a lot of work that I needed to do on it. So we're just gonna go ahead and start inking. I am using the Pentel soft brush like usual. I've mentioned this in the past. It is my favorite brush pen to use. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started. I'm really nervous about this piece just because it's a really beautiful piece and I don't know how well I'm going to do. So I guess the only thing to do now is just to go ahead and start. So there's a lot of different pieces that drew me to this particular drawing, from just the character, so pretty, to just the colors. Once we get to the coloring stage, you'll see what I mean. There's just, and I don't know if I can do it justice with my Copic work, but there's a lot of like blues, pinks, and yellows, which I also really like to do together as a combination as well. So also want to talk about, I know last week I mentioned I was going camping, and obviously I was apprehensive about doing so. I haven't been camping since I was a child, so that's mostly why, but I had a really good time. It was hot because I live in Oklahoma, which is in the Midwest southern area of the US, in case you're not familiar with it, and so it was real hot outside. Oh my god, no! I smeared it! I didn't realize I was still so wet. So we're gonna see what we can do to fix that later on. For now, I'm just gonna internally freak out about it. Hopefully I don't smear the face or anything later on either. I always try to start from the top left downward since I'm right-handed, but I just wanted to get that part so I can get these lines together, but I guess I messed it up. How sad. It'll be fine. Anyway, so like I was saying about camping, we also went on a raft float trip down the river. It's the Illinois River, for those of you who are curious, and kind of had an accident. Our raft actually flipped up and we capsized, and the Illinois River current is super strong, so it was very scary. Obviously we're fine, we all survived, but oof. I tell you, being underneath the water with the current, I mean, I can swim, but the current was just so strong that there was literally no way that I could have swam against it. But luckily where we capsized wasn't super deep, it was just super strong. Also love the way that Selly does hair. I think it's really pretty, especially on this piece. So I think oh my god, my pen just leaked everywhere. Y'all see that? Yeesh. So I'm gonna deal with that while this dries, and then we'll come back and finish coloring that up while I clean up. Alright, y'all, so the drawing has had enough time to dry off. I did erase the pencil line, so we're gonna go ahead and get to drawing. Alright, so like I mentioned before when I was introducing the artist, one of the most important factors of their art was the fact that they did a lot of art with women of color and black women, and so that's what I really thought was important when I was trying to figure out what skin tones to use. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. I was swatching a little bit here on a different sheet just to make sure we get the right tones. So we're going to start off with a lighter shade and then go in, or actually no, we're going to start off with a darker shade and then go in with a lighter shade to kind of tone it down, because I think this might be a little too dark for this character, but it was the closest that I had available. I really think it's important to support artists of color, and black artists especially. So if you haven't already, make sure to go down below the description box and give Silly a follow, because they make such amazing art. Like, what an inspiration. I love their art so much, and it really inspires me also to do more art of women and people of color in general. I know I strive to do that anyway in my personal work, but I could always be better about it. I mean, I think we all can. Especially with the whole Nessa thing that recently happened. It's just so jarring to see how many people can excuse whitewashing, and the implications of racism that comes with is so damaging, especially to people who have to deal with that in their daily lives. I'm more light-skinned than most people of my culture, but I'm still of color, so I can emphasize with how that can be damaging. I think the most frustrating thing was just how many black artists came out and literally did tutorials, step-by-steps, all kinds, for all different types of art styles that you could follow and learn how to draw darker skinned people, and then how many people didn't want to take that advice, or how many people felt like that was like an attack against them, or like their favorite artists and stuff like that. It just got really crazy. Like, I understand artistic liberties and whatnot, but there's also, it's like you're straight up being a racist, bruh. But you know, people don't see it that way. I'm not. And there's really not a whole lot that artists of color can do, because it's so damaging to us, or especially black artists, to them, to have to defend themselves constantly against that type of harassment. when really all they're asking for is just to be seen as human and to understand the history behind whitewashing in general, especially here in America, or the Western world, really. Not just America, the Western world. That includes Europe. I still don't feel like I made her dark enough, but I'm doing my best. I think that's good. Let's give that a little bit more lipstick on the lips. Yeah, set those aside. The hair I'm a little iffy about because it's kind of a shade of pink that I don't really have. So what I was going to try to do was mix pink and pale yellow. Color names. While they're still kind of wet with each other. I feel like that is closer to the color of the hair than anything that I have. Which, with COPICS, blending colors luckily is super easy if you know what you're doing, which I don't, but I'm gonna pretend like I know what I'm doing. That's what y'all tune in for, right? Again, like I was mentioning before, there's a lot of things that drew me to this piece. The mix of yellow, pink, and blue against dark skin was really one of them, because I thought that was just a really beautiful combination. And Selly does this a lot in their work. They mix a lot of light colors or pastel colors with darker skin tones and just pull it off so flawlessly, which is kind of something that I struggle with on my own character, Ami. If you know who she is or have seen any of my previous work, you know she started as a very white character, and as I grew her story and developed her a little bit more, she became a character very, very dear to me. She is like an Afro-Latina character, and she's got very bright pink hair, and so I figured having a dark skin character with light colors like that would be more difficult, and it kind of has been whenever I do commission other artists to draw her for me. But like I said before, Selly did a great job when I had her, when I commissioned her, like Ami, to commission them to draw Ami. It was just really nice to see somebody who could do her well, that's all. Wow, I can't talk anymore. I'm just working fast because I don't want the pink to completely overwhelm the yellow on here. think we're done with the hair, at least the coloring part. We're going to go in with my Copic brush liner after the disaster that happened with my other liner, to just add a little bit more detailing here to the hair. I think I've mentioned this many times in any of my drawing videos, why I add like tick marks. It's just that it gives the hair more texture, some more movement, and just because I like the way it looks, which really is what every artist answer should be about why they do anything, right? Because if you don't like it, well, what's the point of doing it, you know? Doesn't that just look like it's flowing a little bit more? I'm actually also going to add some white. Bit on that eye here, because I accidentally grabbed the black instead of the brown I was trying to use, but you know, y'all like boba? I love boba. I usually prefer like strawberry with boba. So good. Kind of want some right now. I'm drawing right now, so I can't, sadly. Maybe once I'm done, I can go get some. So I've got a bunch of yellows, and I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use for this shirt now. Let's see. I think it might have been this one, so let's go for it. Yeah, that's fine. So we're about done. I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in this background a little bit. One of the things I don't like about this paper is how hard it is to get like a even coat for large areas of color. I thought it was my markers at first, but I did get a different sketchbook, which I'm going to do a test and try on because it's pretty exciting. And it was a lot easier for me to get a solid, even coat of color on the background versus this, which still has a lot of streaks in it, but I have to go over it a few times, which is why I tear my pages out of my sketchbook so I don't have them bleed. You can put like a plastic blending thing underneath the page so it doesn't bleed, but I would forget to do that anyway, so I just kind of tear them out before adding any large backgrounds like that. Of course, COPICS aren't great on just regular paper. They do peel up a little bit, but gotta work fast. Okay. Hopefully we're still recording. If not, fuck. You know what I mean? I'm still okay with the way that looks, so okay, so I think that's the finished piece. I did my best. Let's see if we can try to take this tape off. I'm kind of scared because last time I tried to take tape off paper, it just ripped everything. So let's see how this will work out. Oof, that already ripped. Y'all saw that, right? I didn't do anything. It just ripped on its own. Okay. Not too shabby, right? Again, thank you so much, Sally, for letting me redraw this in my style, and did my best. I hope you like it, and I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all next time.